The water in Frankfort, Indiana has fluoride to help protect children's teeth, but that's not enough. I'm Myrna Walker. As a child, I was in a special Crest test in Frankfort. It proved Crest fluoride gives extra cavity-fighting protection wherever the water is fluoridated. Today, my whole family uses Crest, and we have great checkups.
A fluoridated water test showed Crest gives extra cavity-fighting protection wherever the water is fluoridated.
Nobody's come up with anything better than Crest. We're staying with it.
You can count on Crest for a future of good checkups. Tests prove it. Crest is accepted by the American Dental Association.
The water in Frankfort, Indiana has fluoride to help protect children's teeth, but that's not enough. I'm
And Leah said unto David, and Ark, and Israel, and Judah dwell in Paulos, and my lord Joab, and the servants of my lord lie in tents upon the flat earth.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
The NBC Orchestra, inviting you to join Johnny and his guests, Debbie Reynolds, Patsy Kelly, Larry Kirk, Rex Reed, and Linda Hopkins. And now, here's Johnny.
And perhaps 50 years from now or more, when people think of the past, they will look at the pictures from last night. But without waiting that long, here is a shortened and edited version of last night's romantic and technical history.
I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Oh, geez, that's great. Is the lighting halfway decent? Yes, indeed. They got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar surface. Up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar surface. Beautiful, just beautiful.
But other things have been happening in the world today, many other things. And in order to bring you up to date on what has been taking place while the rest of us have been watching the progress of the moonshot, here is ABC's Peter Jennings. Peter?
There was other news today. The Middle East conflict heated up with an air fight between Israeli and Egyptian planes over the Suez Canal.
All right. I think I'll have some water in this painting today. I love water. It's easy to paint. Now, still water is always level.
Water?
Level. Now, still water is always level.
I will.
Earth, we know it spins once a day. Yes, thank you. 3 people know how long a day lasts here.
Good for row number 2. They're off to a great start.
So you spin, when you spin pizza dough, it kind of flattens out. Yeah. Gets wider in the middle. And so Earth, throughout its life, even when it formed, it was spinning. And it got a little wider at the equator than it does at the poles. So it's not actually a sphere. It's oblate. And officially it's an oblate spheroid. That's what we call it. But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above the equator.
A little chubbier.
A little chubbier.
Yeah.
Chubby's a good word. It's like pear-shaped.
Yeah.
So, it turns out the pear-shapedness is bigger than the height of Mount Everest above sea level.
Flat line, you fooled us for the last time. Flat line, is no superior bloodline.
Destroy it. Or so it would have been, if certain modern theories concerning the shape of the world had not proved to be disastrously wrong.
Pleased to welcome you to part 2 of
this country's educational system. You see, there's all kinds of incredible facts that the powers that be have conveniently left out of the...
Each recipe begins with a violet hose spray of filtered water, compounded by a shower of unfiltered water to help cut costs for the factory. Liquid black is added to the water. No one is entirely sure what liquid black is or where it comes from, but it consistently makes the tastiest sodas known to man. More water is added to the liquid black as needed. Water and liquid black are the only two ingredients in soda. The amount of water used to dilute the liquid black will end up determining the soda's color, flavor, and fizzy. No one is entirely sure what liquid black is or where it comes from, but it consistently makes the tastiest sodas known to man.
call out the vehicle supersonic.
I have a saying in science, extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof. So I am now going to make a wild, way out, extraordinary claim. The world is round. For a curvature of the Earth horizon model of science! Watch. As ships sail away, they don't disappear all at once. No, first, the bottom will disappear. See, the bottom of the ship is gone. Now we can see midway up, and then the whole thing disappears. Now, ships came back. They didn't fall off a table. So people realized that the world is curved. I mean, it's a big curve, but it's curved. So, the process of testing claims, the world is flat, the world is round, is what we call science. Now, if you have a claim that can't be tested, that's what we call pseudoscience. The difference between pseudoscience and regular science is whether or not you can test it. The flat Earth, well, that didn't stand up to tests. The round Earth did. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof.
That dude who jumped out of a perfectly good balloon, what's his name? Felix Baumgartner. He would have been about 2 millimeters above the surface of this globe. That's his edge of space jump. Now, you know, I don't, it's fine. He wants to, I don't have a problem if he does it, but the honesty of it would greatly diminish what I think people thought he was actually doing. And not only that, they made sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. Right. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and he said, wow, he's in space, look at that. No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball. It is, you just don't. That stuff is flat.
I just want to say the song When the Earth Was Round. I think that's the one. Just, I don't want to hear, like, the other songs that I know are going to be good, right? But that's so catchy.
In November 1884, the New York Times ran a pretty interesting story. An astronomer, known only by the name Arndt, claimed to have discovered a cubic planet just beyond the orbit of Neptune. Less than 100 years later, another discovery was made, this time by a man who not only named the planet, but who also had maps and sketches of its alien life forms. Coincidence? Crazy? Or are cubic planets possible? Could humans live on a cubic world? How would our climate change? How would gravity be affected? Could we stand it? This is What If, and here's what would happen if the Earth was a cube. All planets are round, but have you ever wondered why? Let's go back in time, say 4.5 billion years ago. A big cloud of gas and dust called a nebula collapsed to form a hot star which, through its gravitational pull, attracted all nearby matter and formed a large rotating disk around its center. After more than just a few collisions, the matter orbiting the young sun eventually grew into massive bodies with strong gravitational centers. They formed planets. Inside any given planet, gravity pulls equally from all sides towards its center. This accounts for their spherical shape. So because the Earth we live on is a sphere, and its gravitational pull is the same wherever you go, it means that, as long as you're on a flat surface, you'll be standing straight and tall. But what do you think happens when you skew the distribution of gravity? So, you want to live life on the edge? Then pick a side. The Earth has 6 faces now. But sadly, none of them are any fun. That's because anywhere you go is going to feel like you're climbing up a steep hill. On the cubed Earth, gravity is strongest at the center of each of its faces. So the further you are away from the center, the more you'll feel its pull. Hope you didn't take standing tall for granted. The landscape along the Earth's edges would be rocky and barren, since all the water would be pooled at the center of each face, and the atmospheric quality along the Earth's edges and corners would be too thin to support life, or non-existent. We'll come back to that later. The new climate would depend on how the Earth rotates. If our cubed planet rotated on an axis through 2 of its faces, then the climate would be kind of how it is right now on Earth, only more extreme. The top and bottom faces would be polar, while the remaining 4 sides would enjoy an equatorial climate. However, if the Earth was a cube that rotated through its corners, then each side would have a temperate climate. You could say goodbye to extreme temperatures and precipitation. Sadly, that means saying goodbye to your equatorial fantasy world too. On the plus side, you might just be able to walk into outer space. Since our atmosphere is held down by gravity, and since gravity is now pulling from the center of each of Earth's faces, it means that the atmosphere would be thicker where gravity is strongest, and thinner towards the edges. What's more, if the cubic Earth had the same volume as our rounded world today, then its sharp, steep corners would actually poke out beyond our atmosphere. These areas would be unprotected, and therefore uninhabitable. But who says you couldn't rent a spacesuit and stand on top of the world and outside of it at the same time? Would you do it? What else could you do on a cubic planet? Could you adapt? What would we call ourselves on this 6-sided Earth? Cubists? Cubans? We'll never find out, and that's probably for the best. But we'll keep trying things out as long as you're curious. New episodes of What If are coming soon, so be there or be square.
Bubble in space. Bubble in space. So many bubbles. And inside that pool is the replica of the space station. many bubble. Bubble. Bubble in space.
It's flat. 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 The earth is flat and God is real. They lied to you. You are not on a sphere. Space is fake. You're living in a cartoon. It's prison for your mind. Not on a sphere. Space is fake. You're living in a cartoon. It's prison for your mind.
On for the wildest, most controversial talk show on television, featuring enthusiastic participation from our live studio audience and interviews with provocative newsmaker guests. Here he is, that hard-hitting, award-winning, conservative voice of television. On for the wildest, most controversial talk show on television, featuring enthusiastic participation from our live studio audience and interviews with provocative newsmaker guests.
Special music bringing together global talent. This performance symbolizes unity and hope, highlighting the resilience and potential for children. Here is Rose theme by John Williams.
Hey, I had a question about my tone, man. The tone. Well, first thing I really like to have, I'm ready for work.
What's up,
you? Thanks for joining us.
Of a massive experiment worldwide. And that
Where are
is
the guinea pigs?
Maybe the experiment is, will people listen to scientists?
Training session.
Powered on again.
There, out of his seat, that's Commander.
Again, pretty soon.
Dragon SpaceX powering on helmet cams.
So there, out of his seat, that's Commander.
Again, pretty soon.
Dragon SpaceX power.
Yeah.
I think this is the definition of chillin'.
Yeah.
So there, out of his seat, that's Commander.
Again, pretty soon.
Dragon SpaceX powering on helmet cams.
We're going to get the helmet cams powered on. Again, give you that kind of look right over their shoulders.
Yeah, pretty excited for these. We've seen them utilized during the training sessions that the crew has undergone, and we're so excited to see them live today.
Yeah, I tell you, the helmet cameras, I mean, it's going to be fantastic views, right, that we're all going to love. But there's also a very important role for those cameras as well. Like when we have the same thing, we have helmet cameras with the EMUs, and what it allows is your ground team.
Dragon SpaceX suit cameras powered. Confirm good health.
So it really allows your ground teams to kind of be able to see what you're doing and
SpaceX get video on both speeds, no thoughts.
And almost double check your work.
Copy. Checkout's complete. HUDs will remain powered. Proceed to step 3.3, operations review through 3.
I'm here with Crash and the Kid, and we're talking about Flat Earth.
And today's episode is brought to you. But yes, today's episode is Flat Earth.
Yeah.
So, before we get fully invested into this episode, where does everyone stand?
I don't necessarily 100% believe it, but the idea that maybe the Earth is a lot bigger than what we've been led to believe is possible.
The Earth is flat. How does flat Earth explain?
From what I understand, the only pictures we actually have of the Earth are composites of other things.
You know, I can agree with that. That, you know, they haven't done anything like that to disprove flat Earth, proven flat Earth.
The world is flat.
I'm here to ring the alarm with my puppet like charm, straight from the barn. I'm talking about Flat Earth Farms, cause most don't know. They think we live on a globe, a ball that floats. So listen and take notes, and take it to a higher plane. Imagine yourself in all it contains, in all its glory, and Flat Earth Farms can take you there. Open your mind outside the box. No more staring at NASA's Photoshop. No more moon landings, no line to ya. No more people standing backwards in Australia. Just facts and pure truth, planning straight to the roots. Flat Earth Farms help you understand. A magical place on a wondrous land.
The world is flat, and that's a fact. Tell your friends next time you chat. Let them know a ball ain't that.
Think that Gemini was kind of a
We coming at the barn, a higher place, the Flat Earth Farm.
But really, it was essential in the major objectives that we set out to perform in Gemini. One was to demonstrate that the life support system could support people in an outside environment, outside the spacecraft.
Tell me the Earth flat? That's cool. I agree.
I mean, it's your turn.
I think I'm gonna solve it.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, the Earth looks pretty flat to me.
Yeah, that's it. Why risk it?
You may have seen it on your way to work or school or just driving around. A new billboard has some people thinking about the Earth.
And asking the question, could the Earth be flat? Greg Argos is here with more on the movement.
Just yesterday, in fact, this billboard, a digital billboard unveiled yesterday, and it's calling into question a theory most of us have accepted, that the Earth, of course, is round. But those behind this billboard say, well, we've all been tricked. NASA's pictures and spacewalks showing a curved Earth are all made up. Drivers heading eastbound on the Schuylkill already battle some serious traffic. But now there's another distraction slowing them down, and it's just 100 feet above their heads. Sandwiched between two insurance ads is this bold 3-word billboard: Research Flat Earth. And for at least the next week, this ad will be blocking drivers' attention.
You think the Earth is round, cause that's what they told ya. From elementary school, you're trained to be a glober. Have you ever been out of space to see the curve? Or you just rely on NASA's every spoken word? Regurgitated theories, they be so absurd. All you globetards is just some creepy nerds. By any means, globe theories must die. We breaking down lies one at a time. Shout out to the marble spirit level guy. Planes do not dip their nose when they fly. I see the boat again, it came back in sight. Used a pair of binoculars, brought it back to life. The sun is not 93 million miles. No, parallel sun rays through the clouds. Straight down, the Most High showeth his handiwork. When he made the firmament and earth is flat. Where's the curve? Earth is flat. Where's the curve? Tell him. Earth is flat. Where's the curve? Earth is flat. Where's the curve? Man, I'm telling you, Earth is flat.
All right, that's good. That's a good music video. I like it.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Well. Good morning, Vietnam. Still on the land of France.
What you're going to see, okay? So this is the kind of statues we have now here. So this is the source, and this is the new pieces of art that they put. Let's get closer. Okay. This is now the art of now. Okay. Just next.
So
to the
large
fountain.
that it escapes
So
their
not built
perception.
anymore.
Those who see it will be thought of as insane.
Okay, nice.
Kontinente dazu gedichtet hat, weil wieso auch nicht? Ich meine, was ist das überhaupt für eine Karte? Wo
Since you've flown halfway around the world, do you still believe the Earth is flat?
I felt like that question was going to come, man. And, you know, and for me, it's not about whether the world is flat, whether the world is round. It's really about just everyone just believing what they want to believe and feeling comfortable with it. You know, I'm not a scientist. I'm not here to tell everyone that this is it. For me, it's just giving everyone a chance to do their own research and find their own knowledge rather than having knowledge just shoved to you. So, no, that's me.
It is this.
Yeah.
Does everybody understand?
Yeah,
it is this.
Really flat.
If I say that the world is flat and someone else says it's flat, that's worth reporting. That's worth reporting. That's worth reporting.
And in case there are any conspiracy theorists out there, how would you prove to us that you're in zero gravity? In zero gravity. In zero gravity. In zero gravity. In zero gravity.
Different, whether that's in ethnicity, religion, gender, all those things, because there's power in those different perspectives, and also the next generation should see. They shouldn't look and go, "Oh, I can't do that. Those people don't look like me." I want them to look at us and go, "Oh, I can do that too."
As an astronaut, how has seeing the Earth from space altered your views on life, meaning, and also environmental issues?
I have to say, first off, looking at the Earth from this view is one of the most incredible things, probably the most incredible thing I've experienced in my life. I wouldn't say it's necessarily changed my views. I think I've always known how special and beautiful our planet is. I think it is just like when you look at the Earth from this view, it's just instantaneous evidence and reinforces what I've thought my entire life. And so I don't necessarily think it's changed my perspective. It has just reinforced that we need to take care of our planet. Everyone I know and love is on that planet, except for my crewmates here. I love them too.
Hey, let's be careful out there.
I went to the moon and back, and everyone that's a scientist knows it.
The science doesn't lie.
9 days ago, didn't go into space. He came up like 7 miles short. I'm not kidding. People don't know this.
Are you serious?
He came. He was
Are
close.
you serious?
But now Jeff Bezos, this is a live shot of Jeff Bezos going into space.
They're buying it. They're buying it.
So cool. Again, we're watching this for the first time. Because it technically didn't happen with Branson. This is bragging rights.
This is, I'm not a space expert, but it's in the air, so that's a good start.
And this is not something you could practice.
It's not dust. Mayor Giuliani, real quickly, do you know about flat Earth? Do you know the Earth is flat?
Side of the space station gets beat up pretty good, and sometimes, you know, you'll see just little flecks of paint or something that you might have disrupted floating away from the suit, and you know, that's generally what that is. I've never seen any kind of air bubble anywhere.
Could it be that you're filming in an underwater pool and you're not really out there?
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me.
Rather than, as you know them to be, which is sort of starting a little more curving over to the south, you also kind of it loops back on itself. But what you that particular projection is essentially what you get when you loop it into a cylinder, not into a sphere.
Okay, but everybody knows that this map is not to scale.
It's very much not to scale. The top of it is widely distorted, and the bottom. It's reasonably accurate around the middle. And it does give a reasonably good idea as to what the continents look like. I agree that it does. But a flat earther, some flat earthers will look at that and think that's what the world looks like.
And even that the Earth is flat. Respond? That is a question my next guest has been pondering at length. Lee McIntyre is a research fellow at Boston University's Center for Philosophy and History of Science, and he is the author of the new book, How to Talk to a Science Denier, Conversations with Flat Earthers, Climate Deniers, and Others Who Defy Reason. Lee, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me on.
You start off your book taking us into a flat earther conference that you went to in 2018, I believe. I had not known that flat earthism was a whole big belief system, but as you explain, it is. Just for starters, can you describe some of the things that these people believe in addition to the fact that the earth is flat?
Yes. They believe that the earth is flat, which means that a couple of other things have to fall in place, like what's at the edge. Well, they think that Antarctica is not a continent, it's an ice wall that's spread out around the edge to keep the water from falling off. They think that there's a dome over the top of the earth, which, by the way, makes air travel, makes space travel impossible. So they also believe that we've never been to the moon. They think that the sun and the stars and the moon are in fact very close and revolve around the earth rather than us revolving around the sun. So it's, you know, it's like the flat earth is just the first pebble in the pond, and then there are a number of other things that come with that. Theorists. And when you believe theory, you tend to believe a number of them.
You went there in part because you wanted to see if you could convince these people that they were wrong. How did that go?
I went there to learn what they thought. and then, if possible, to use that to try to then talk with science deniers. So my goal wasn't necessarily to convert somebody on the spot, because which is great, but it's almost impossible to do. So the first day I was just quiet. I just listened, wore my flannel shirt, had my badge, and I just listened to what they had to say. And then the second day I started to talk to them. And the frustrating thing is you can't present any facts from Galileo or otherwise that will convince them. So if you're going to do it, you have to try to do it another way.
He couldn't do it, right? He could not take that leap and say, there is something that would in fact make me give this up.
Yeah, it's a great question. As you point out, it's not my question. Just like you, we used to be globalists, and then, we swallowed the red pill.
Globalist being their term for people who believe that the Earth...
That's the nice term that they use. There are some slurs as well, which I can't say.
There's a whole bunch more I want to ask you, but let's cut to maybe the most important question.
From the basic moral values and principles, to take advantage of these movements, to capitalize on them, is the main purpose of the originator of subversion.
Isn't it funny when you're trying to tell people what's going on and they're like,
does not compute, does not compute, does not compute.
Mayor Giuliani, real quickly, do you know about flat Earth? You know the Earth is flat? I didn't know that. I'm not aware of it. The UN flag has a flat Earth map on it. I know I got that a while back. Nope, it wasn't. It's flat. It's flat.
Why is this happening?
If you create flat earthers and lizard people and all that, and then you'll get lumped into the lizard person flat earther.
I think everyone here recognizes how extraordinary space is. Earth is kind of small. Whether it is satellites that orbit the Earth, that's one of the things I'm most excited about. Humans that land on the moon. Well, wait till they see the moon on top of the moon. I don't know what it is about those craters. Or telescopes that peer into the furthest reaches of the universe. The Earth is like a speck. Space is exciting. And I just love the idea of exploring the unknown.
She blinded me with science!
Have your ship standing by? Evacuate? In our moment of triumph? I think you overestimate their chances.
Comments are still headed.
What else is on?
Yeah, let's see what else is. Coming to you now from the largest studio ever constructed, it's The Truman Show! Yeah!
Why do you think that Truman has never come close to discovering the true nature of his world until now?
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that. If he was absolutely determined to discover the truth, there's no way we could prevent him.
That's cool. That could be a song. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So, me being pretty new at Flat Earth, I said, oh, so he had to just take off flying and keep dipping his nose to stay stuck to the ball? He said no, he had to keep turning right. I said he had to keep turning right, he didn't dip his nose, he kept turning right to make a full circle? He said yes. And that was how it ended.
He's got the whole world.
In the 1960s, we told ourselves, we're Americans, we're explorers, we're discoverers. It's in human DNA, it's especially in American DNA, we're going to the moon. I can tell you based on my read of history, that is insufficient driver to spend the $100 billion in modern money that required. You need a better driver than that, than just because you want to do it. Oh, I remember what it is. We're at war. In Kennedy's speech, where he said, let's put a man on the moon and return him safely. That's what we quote. That's the quote that's in the front entrance of the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. How about the rest of the speech? Plenty of room to chisel that in the granite. No. What else was in that speech? This is almost verbatim. If the events of recent weeks If the events of recent weeks are any indication of the impact of this adventure on the minds of men everywhere, then we need to show the world the path of freedom over the path of tyranny. It was the battle cry against communism.